Good day, everyone. Welcome back to the Dual Foundations podcast, season 2. With me today, we have Renee Lighton, and I am Lungile Thabethe. I am part of the Dual Foundation family, and today we're talking about Eat, Love, Play, Talk, the corporate version. And Renee, before I hand over and ask you to introduce yourself, I'll just kick you in there with a playful question that you will give us some feedback at the end. And my question to you today is, what is the most important job in the world? Is it caregiving or is it being a great employee?
Thank you for that question. Yes, okay. I will think about that.
If you could just give us a brief introduction of yourself, Renee. I think everybody deserves to know this amazing woman with me today.
Oh, thanks, Lungile. So I am a teacher by profession. Studied from preschool to high school. Most important, though, I'm a mum and a granny, which I think has just increased my appreciation of early childhood development so much. Watching my own 2 grandchildren is phenomenal. And what I do is actually I love play. So people would ask me, Renee, what do you do? And really I play, and I play in a variety of ways. And all the ways actually serve me and others, because I really believe that, to bring joy is contagious. And I love learning, and I love working and partnering and collaborating with many different clients in ways that serve them and serve me. So, yeah, Lungile, that's kind of my reply to that question.
And that's an amazing one. Thank you, Renee. So as we kick off, basically, how did we even get here in the first place? Eat, Love, Play, Talk, and bringing it over to RCL Foods, the different business units and their sites. How did all of that begin in the very first place?
So I think that for us began with RCL Foods way back in 2015, when the wonderful Pam Picken introduced me to Warren and to Rainbow in Worcester. And what we did there is we ran a positive parenting program, which was really successful. It was really about just connecting, using positive parenting, so simple ideas, inviting the participants, the employees from a variety, from on the line to the HR, to the people who worked in the office, to come together and to learn through play together.
That's really great that you should say that, Renee. I'm just taken back to a time when I was with you at Rainbow Hammersdale last year. And one of the things that I also found quite amazing with the Eat, Love, Play, Talk was having been newly introduced to this amazing booklet, which is part of the public health messaging. And in there, it actually does speak of love, play, talk for healthy development for young children. And for me, I think it's quite amazing how you've been able to just simplify this message and bring it back to employees for them to be able to understand and be able to put back into their homes. And I think the main learning for me was, previously you look at this little book and it's just a book that you produce at the clinic or to your pediatrician and you let them take care of it. We don't ever come back home and read it or look at it or even ask any questions at the time in which our young children are being assessed. So I think, the simplified messaging really, really does mean a lot. And with that, I'm prone to ask, what are the key components of Eat, Love, Play, Talk when you share this message with the employees?
So for me, I think for us, I think what's important is that it's practical, it's playful, it's engaging, it's educating at the same time. So what we know is that information, knowledge, only when you action it, is it really a powerful, we want to empower our parents. And so how we worked was, and I'm just going to show you so it's easier. In community, we have all of these books, yes, all of these, all 7 sessions. What we did with corporate is we realized it would be challenging for corporates to have 7 sessions like we do in community, once a month generally, with parents who have all got children between, from conception to age 5. So to broaden that, we said, okay, so from age 2 to 10 in business, in corporate, and we took that messaging the exact same messaging that's in your in our road to health booklet, and in those booklets, our playbooks that we use in community, and we condensed it and simplified it, not simplified, but actually condensed it into making it, the messaging is still the same. It's really about shorter period of time, because in community we have 2 hours a session at least. Business does not necessarily give us 2 hours a session. So the ability to do that and to take what the simple things are that are important, and in our Road to Health booklet, that messaging of love, of eating, of well-being, of nutrition, of taking care, of being safe, of showing parents, employees, just how to play with what you have, to start where you are, use what you have and do what you can, and not to actually think that your teacher at school is actually the person who teaches you as the parent. When you get your baba, we use simple things like, this is the bottle. We imagine that this is the baby. You're holding this baby in your hands, yeah? And that actually, for us, we do it so that we say, like, you have the keys. You are the keys to unlocking your child's body and brain development through each of these keys is eat, love, play, talk. And the messaging is simple, it's practical, and the employees get it very quickly. Does that answer your question, Lungile?
It does answer the question. And I'm very tempted to also further share that I recall a time having even been in the room with you for the very first time after also having experienced the community-based Eat, Love, Play, Talk. And with the community-based Eat, Love, Play, Talk, it's generally a program that is shared with our under-resourced communities where information is not really readily available or easy to access for that matter. And I think for me, what was quite interesting is when you brought this over into business, remembering when you were at the RCL head office and the amount of questions that we actually had coming in from the caregivers, you would have thought that caregivers that are in a setting of a workplace and access to a computer actually have a world of information available to them. But it was actually quite amazing to realize that caregivers at community and caregivers in an office building are actually, when it comes to children, have been placed in the most equal platform. We all don't know what to do, and we don't know how to simplify it at all. And I think for me is how do you bridge that gap? How do you communicate in a language that all the caregivers are able to easily understand and actually take that messaging home and implement it into their homes?
What we will do is we make sure that the environment is right, so that when they walk in, that they're going to feel safe. They are going to know that there's no judgment, there's no fear, and that when we share our challenges, we actually get, it's easier to feel supported. It's easier to make, the small changes that lead to success, positive little changes in your daily habits that can change. And it's interesting because in a business environment where you get people from many different areas in the business together, that is such a powerful thing, because you're a caregiver first. You walk in with your heart first, not with your position or your title.
What were the main challenges that you encountered with attempting to roll out these sessions in the different factories? Like, if you make a comparison between Vista versus Hammersdale, whereby both of them are still Rainbow though, what would you say have been the main challenges that you found?
The challenges that we experienced were actually opportunities to grow ourselves and to look at what could we do even better even in our communication, perhaps in those two very different rainbow factories. Yes. So it's, we're talking about the size of the room, because Hammersdale had a really tiny room. You have to be fully flexible and adaptable as a facilitator. So it comes with experience. And it would, sometimes you work on the floor, sometimes the desks are set up and static, so you have to work around them, and you don't have. The challenges could be in the messaging, so not necessarily with the 2 rainbow plants, but with one of the other plants we worked with last year. There was a challenge around communicating with the people who were attending. So those are the small challenges. And we've learned from that. And I think we've learned also that everybody gets my mobile number. All the participants get my mobile number. So, and they're told strictly that they may only message me on a voice note or WhatsApp. There's no phoning. So that also helps. So we look all the time to see, and because all the plants are so different, we work according to what is needed for them. The win for them is what is needed for you that will make this program work. And then we are fully flexible and adaptable around that to make sure that the people in the room get the value that they deserve as employees, as caregivers, as parents, grandparents. And that's the beauty of this program.
That's definitely true there, Renee. And with that as well, looking at your track record, like you say, you do come from an educational background, which was actually many moons ago, and you moved over to facilitation. So I'm very interested to know that outside of RCL as a group, and just looking at your other businesses in which you work in, what have been the key ingredients when you've had to roll out these parenting programs? Now, you look at it's different businesses; they all have different ways of working, as well as different cultures as well, which do affect the employees that you have in that particular room. And I know with your calendar, it's so busy, but I mean, you could honestly jump from a rainbow today and move into another business altogether with the parenting program. And what would you say are the main key factors that you found have worked for you over the years?
So, to listen, to ask, and then to listen. So what is it that is needed? Where are your biggest voids? What do you need most? The win is like, what do you need most? What is needed? Who is needed? Like, because sometimes it's not me that's needed, someone else is needed. And I'm very happy. I love that the Do More Foundation is into collaboration and to partnerships. So my partnerships and my collaborations are with many varied clients. So I go from WCED, the education department, because I'm passionate about teachers, to a parenting group, to Lager Rooibos tea. It doesn't matter for me. The bottom line, I think, for me is just knowing that you got to listen first, ask a few questions, listen first, and then say, okay, so how do I design that? How do I design what is needed for the people in the room? Because really what we do as facilitators, what I've realized, is I guide that from the side. I guide the information. You don't, in the old days, you talk about the sage on the stage, the person that would be standing in class and teaching. Now this is like what we do is really guide from the side. We want everybody's voice to be heard in the room. And as soon as you open that up, Lungile, you've seen at your head office in Durban, you've seen that in Hammersdale. When people feel heard, when everyone has a chance to share in a safe space, like first turn and learn and share like together in pairs and feel safe, the energy in the room changes because they know that they can share without judgment. Their voice matters. If you're too shy, Lungile, to share, I'll ask your partner to tell me what you said. And in that way, the people in the room, the participants realize, actually, we expect children to have a voice, to stand up in class, read, present an oral. And parents are often are so terrified of standing up and talking in a group. So my job, first of all, is to make sure that I'm a good listener. Yeah. A good listener, and then ask good questions.
I've seen you doing that in action, Renee. And, looking at these sessions, and especially where we've had the 4-session Eat, Love, Play talks, when you look at session 1 versus session 4, what are the key differences or cultural changes that you've found amongst the groups, like from the onset when they've initially come on board versus when they finish or end off the program, which I know they're usually sad to be saying goodbye to you. But so what are the shifts that you've found have been somewhat the same, if I can put it that way?
So the same would be, we now know how to use what we have to learn through play. We now understand that actually connection before correction is important. We also understand that we don't just have to give our child a device, because parents are tired. They come home after work. It's far easier to put your kid in front of a TV set, in front of the television, or to give them your device and let them play. Now they understand how important it is to sit down, look, talk, have a short conversation. And they also have the tools for that, because they have a booklet, with conversations where they can have a quick chat. And I remind parents, we encourage our children to brush out their teeth twice a day, high on our value list, morning and night. Did you have a conversation with your child? Did you spend 2 minutes today just present, playful, engaging, eye contact with your child? And they get that. It's easy. So that's been the big change. And I think I want to read you one of the feedbacks that we got from Rainbow in this session. It's just this parent, it was anonymous. It said, they asked, what did you learn? And it says, and the feedback was, I learned that I never knew how to spend time with my children and at the same time give them love and teach them. And that's just through 4 sessions of connection, 4 sessions of saying, well, you've got a 2-year-old, here's the nachi, what can you talk about? The color, the shape, the size, the smell, what it feels like. The language segments, you've got a 10-year-old. Can you estimate? Can you count? Can you divide them? Can you double that number, triple that number? What is this healthy food? What is this food going to give you? It's going to protect your body. So we can link all of those easy messaging that is in the Eat, Love, Play, Talk program with things and ideas and creative ideas that will support your children at school later. And we have the evidence of that through the MNE that's been done by the foundation.
Yeah, that's really great, Renee. And I think I love the part where you make an example of a 2-year-old versus a 10-year-old. I mean, we do know that in most households, you do find that the parent or the caregiver actually is in care of both ages. So it's beautiful that you make this example out of the Nachi, and they don't have to have these 2 separate conversations, but it could actually be the same conversation with both children at the same time. And in closing, Renee, what would be the best advice that you would share with other businesses that would be interested in implementing a caregiver support program such as Eat, Love, Play, Talk?
Then I would say, go back to the keys, because business, you have the opportunity to unlock the finances and invest in our children. And if you don't, who is going to, quite honestly? And partner with government. Government do what they do. I mean, I work in a lot of schools all over the country. They do what they're doing. Our opportunity as business is actually invest in the future, invest in your employees, because that's going to be a huge return on your investment. And children will make the difference. We need you. Business needs to, it would be wise, I should say, for business to come to the party and partner with Do More and with parenting programs that can make a difference. Yes. That would be my message to business. And don't think of it in one way. It's fully flexible, fully adaptable. You can design it just like we want to be, be deliberate, the B and the D, be deliberate about being contributing towards this country. Yes, you can paint a building. Yes, you can buy posters for a school. When you invest in parents, when you invest in your employees, you're investing in their well-being. You reminded us, Lungi, people would come to work even if on their off day to make sure that they came to that program. When we did the program for Rainbow in 2015, there was a woman who wrote that she was going to resign from Rainbow. And because of this program, she actually stayed. So what do you want? Invest in your employees, make a difference in this country, make a difference to the children in this country.
That's a beautiful message, Renee. And thank you so much for your time today. But before we let you off, I still do need that answer. So what is more important? Is it being a great employee or an awesome caregiver in the home? And I think you will have the best answer for me.
Awesome caregiver. If you're an awesome caregiver, you will be an awesome employee. And if you are supported as an employee to be an awesome caregiver, because when we know better, we do better. It is as simple as that. So when I know better, I do better. And if business gives their employees the opportunity to know better at work, imagine that, like an hour, 75 minutes at a time. And I walk out that room and I'm feeling empowered as that caregiver. And I know that I can make the difference as the adult that I've learned. You just change everything. You change what's happening at business every day and you change what's happening at home. So, yeah. Together. Yay.
Thank you so much, Renee, for that. I knew you'd have the perfect answer. And with that, I'll say today has been the best day and we look forward to better days ahead. Thank you so much, Renee, for your time.
Playtime. My pleasure.